ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to Sunday Night Football overtime. Bears, Texans, battle of two young quarterbacks, one in his second season fresh off of an offensive rookie of the year campaign, the other the number one overall pick in this past year's draft. Caleb Williams and the Bears had an improbable victory last week, scoring no offensive touchdowns, however, rallying back down 17-3 in their ball game versus the Texans last week to win that game 24-17. And so it was interesting to see how they would respond with that come from behind victory. Would the offense play better because it was pretty much a no-show last week? Meanwhile, the Texans were very impressive on the road. Tough environment in the division, on the road, got it done. Could they go home, big stage, Sunday Night Football, and take care of a really good Bears defense and win the football game? They were able to win the game tonight, but wasn't their cleanest performance. And I think we saw two really good, well-coached defenses tonight. Both teams defensively got after the other's quarterback. The Texans are a good team, and they're well coached. A lot of energy, enthusiasm. I thought Joe Mixon's injury hurt them a little bit. We'll see the severity of that. That's kind of what, where Joe is in his career now. Injuries tend to creep up on him, and we'll see what happens. They've got a deep running back crew, but none of them are Joe Mixon, which is why they traded for him in the first place. He was outstanding last week, was really the catalyst last week. Got injured a little bit tonight, came back, but clearly was not himself, did not finish the game. Had a fumble from Cam Akers late, which allowed the Bears to hang around in this game. What was a crazy day of football almost got crazier with, the Bears having the football with a chance and tons of time. After that Roma Dunze catch and run, I thought to myself, uh-oh, here we go. Because I'm done losing for the week, okay? I've got enough losses already. I don't need any more. I'm done. Now, I'll take an Eagles loss. That I don't mind, right? But the likelihood is they'll take care of business, and I'll finish out the week 10-6, and I'm fine with that. I went 10-6 last week. I'll take 10-6 again this week. It was a crazy week, a lot of upsets, a lot of results that many of us did not anticipate, and for that, I say, cool, bring it on, right? Because I know I'm not taking those L's alone. So, like where I sit right now, and I don't need any more losses, so Texans got it done tonight, 19-13. Let's talk about how that outcome was reached. So we start with the Texans. To the victors go the spoils. CJ Stroud, another solid night at the office. This guy continues to impress and amaze at times. That throw he had rolling to his right outside the pocket was a thing of beauty. And, he hits Nico Collins right on the button as he's running towards the sideline. It reminded me last week of a throw he had to Nico to seal the deal against the Colts, where Nico made a diving stab, got the knee down inbounds. As we know, 1 knee equals 2 feet. And that was all she wrote for the Indianapolis Colts in that game. And CJ has improved so much as a passer on the move. And for me, it really started with that Georgia game. I know that sounds crazy. It was his last collegiate game, but it showed everyone he's fully capable of doing that. And I think that's given him the confidence to be able to do some of the things that we've seen him do. And tonight was no different. Now, I will say that Bears defense was on his ass. Pause. And they hit him. They roughed him up a little bit. They sacked him. And in true CJ Stroud form, he didn't turn it over. Now, he was close. Kyler Gordon had his hand on the football, bobbled it, tried to, catch it off the bobble, wasn't able to corral it, convinced his coach that he caught it. And that was not true, which the coach, Matt Eberflus challenged the play. And this is what I would tell my team. Hey, I trust you guys. And if you tell me that you did something and I need to challenge, and my guys haven't been able to get a clear look at it, and the other team is rushing up to the line of scrimmage to try to snap the ball, and you're going nuts and you're telling me challenge it, I'm going to challenge it. But just know you get one chance to get me to challenge something and you wrong, I will never listen to you again, ever. So if you're going to step to me and convince me to throw the challenge flag and you're wrong, don't ever ask me to throw the challenge flag again. It won't be on your accord. I will have to get confirmation from somebody up above that told me they've seen it, and that's how I'm throwing it. I'm not listening to your ass anymore. So for me, if I'm Matt Eberflus, Kyler Gordon can't come to me and tell me he caught a ball or his foot was in bounds when he caught an interception or none of that shit. I don't want to hear it. You just lost all credibility with me, right? So they could have used that timeout at the end of the game, obviously, but they had plenty of time, though. Time wasn't a factor in that final possession. But when you look at what the Texans were able to do tonight, this was really a win off the strength of their defense. Offense did a little something in the first half. Neither team's offense did much of anything in the second half. I would say that this was more on the backs of Kaimi Fairbairn and the defense. Kaimi Fairbairn was outstanding tonight. I think he had 3 kicks over 50 tonight. He did not miss a single kick. He made all 4 of his field goals. The Texans only scored 1 touchdown tonight, and that was the Nico Collins hookup from CJ Stroud. The other, 12 points came off of all field goals from Kaimi Fairbairn, and he was outstanding. And so between Fairbairn and the defense, boy, did they tore into Caleb Williams tonight. I mean, he's going to be sore tomorrow. Wow, did he take a beating tonight. They hit his ass a ton in this ball game. I felt bad for him at one point. A couple of times he got up slow. You can see on the sidelines, he was like, whew, man, this is rough. I think they beat him up physically, and I'm not sure that they didn't beat him up mentally a little bit in this game as well. He took quite a beating in this game. It's a part of the NFL growing pains. It's what you go through as a young quarterback. He'll be better because of what he went through tonight, but he threw 2 interceptions, and you got to credit that Texans defense. 2 of my favorite defensive backs in the last 4 NFL drafts are on their teams, on the Texans team, rather. I was a massive Derek Stingley Jr. fan. I thought he was better, and I still think pound for pound, he's better than Sauce Gardner. Gardner's going to get all the attention, and he's a really good player, don't get me wrong. But my money's with Derek Stingley Jr., man. Because Stingley's going to pick it off. Sauce ain't picking off shit. Sauce will be right there. Half the time I think he's molesting dudes, and he gets away with it because of who he is. But you saw Derek Stingley on that play. Now, granted, I think here might be a little bit of a difference. A lot of times they're not giving any help to Sauce. Like, you got it, bro. You an all-pro. You got it. Where Stingley knew he could play underneath. It was funny listening to Chris Collinsworth talk about, DJ Moore got him right where he wants him. He got inside of him. Stingley let him inside. He's got help over the top. I can play right underneath you, which is where I need to be. I got help over the top. That safety is coming down on anything. He's nailing down on anything that's going across the field. So I know I've got, trail technique inside, anything inside and behind. That's me, right? If he's running a comeback, if he's running a hitch, that's me. I'm underneath, right? But his eyes the entire time he was running with DJ Moore were looking at Caleb Williams, and he took it away. Love Derek Stingley Jr., right? And y'all know this if you've been following me for long enough. I love Jalen Petrie. I wanted my Commanders to select him out of Baylor. He was there, and they didn't pull the trigger. I think he was there at the time of our selection, and they went in a different direction. Petrie is a beast. He might have gone maybe 2 or 3 picks before we selected. I can't recall. I just know I wanted us to take him. And he's a monster. Physical, plays with a ton of energy. The kind of guy that fits in today's NFL. And you saw it on display tonight. I think I was wrong about the Lassiter kid out of Georgia. I didn't think he was fast enough. I looked at his speed and said, nope, I'm good. And he was making all kinds of plays on the ball tonight. Had another pick that was negated, I think, due to penalty. But he was all over the place. We know Will Anderson is a problem. Almost had a sack, then got a sack. And then at the end of the game, Danielle Hunter closing the show, right? That's why you pay a guy $5.5 million per year as an edge rusher right there. That for that exact reason right there. We call guys like Danielle Hunter closers. That's why you pay a guy $25, $26, $27 million a year as an edge rusher. Because when the game's on the line and I need it, you go and get it. You go and shut it down and close up shop. That sack pretty much ended any hope for the Bears in this game. Barring some kind of miraculous reception or some penalty like the Chiefs got in their game, this shit was over. And that's what you want. You want your edge rusher to shut the door, slam it and lock it. Danielle Hunter did that. That's a good defense, man. Who are we kidding? That's a good Texas defense. They had their moments last week where they gave up big plays, but you got to credit the Colts for making some of those plays that they made. That's a quality Texans defense. And they did what they were supposed to do to a young quarterback. They confused him. They made him unsure. They sacked him. They made him hold on to it a little bit. Early in the game, the Bears tried to get Caleb into a rhythm. There's a lot of quick passes, getting the ball out of his hands, which is smart on the part of Luke Getsy when you're trying to establish, a young quarterback and get him into a rhythm. But as the game wore on, they started to get to Caleb. They made him uncomfortable. They started to send blitz pressure. They didn't handle it well, did the Bears. And at some point, you knew he was going to make a mistake, he being Caleb, right? You knew he was going to make a mistake. And you just had to be there to capitalize off of it. And they were. And I disagree with Chris Collinsworth. There's a time and a place for interception that you throw on a 3rd and long and you say, whatever, it's just like a punt. When you throw an interception and it's a 32-yard interception, that's not quite as effective as a 47-yard punt. I disagree with him. Like, his first career interception, not a big deal. It was 3rd and long anyway. Who cares? Well, I care. You know why I care? Because that interception gave the Texans the football at their own 32-yard line instead of their punter, who they drafted in the 4th round, I believe, Taylor, who was kicking the shit out of the ball, who has been kicking the shit out of the ball. He would have probably had that shit down inside the 10, somewhere around the 10. And keep in mind, on that possession, that was the possession where Kaimi Fairbairn made his last field goal of the night from 50, call it 56, maybe 53, 56. It was one of the two. Now, just back that thing up 10 yards. Just back it up 10 yards. They're not even attempting that field goal. They got a punt. And it's a totally different ball game. And at the end, you don't need a touchdown. You just need another field goal. That's the difference between Caleb throwing that first pick to Derek Stingley Jr. and them punting the football. The difference is 3 points in a game that you lost by 6 and had the ball with a chance to get into field goal range, but you weren't thinking field goal range because you needed a touchdown. Totally different set of circumstances. So I thought that was a big interception because it flipped the field position. If you look at the field position game that was being played in the second half, the Texans had awful field position pretty much all of the third quarter. They continuously started inside their own 10, inside their own 15, were backed up. Both teams really, if you think about it, had awful field position in the second half, but mostly the Texans. And it was that field position that because Stroud would get 1 or 2 first downs. He wasn't getting 3 or 4 first downs because that Bears defense wasn't having it. So the difference is You end up starting at your own 37, you get 2 first downs, you're in field goal range. Versus you get 2 first downs, you start at your own 7-yard line. That's cool. All you did was give your punter some space to kick the football. So that interception I thought was big because it led to the final points of the night and extended the lead out to 2 scores essentially at 19-10. And, you know, the fumble obviously was costly because it kept the door slightly ajar for the Bears by Cam Akers. You like to just, even if you get nothing but a field goal there, it forces the Bears to then need 2 touchdowns. There's no other way they can beat you. With the scenario being what it was, you could still get beat by a field goal and a touchdown, but they were going to have to do something they hadn't done since the first half, and that was score a touchdown. And you just didn't really see that happening. They were struggling to move the football practically all night, especially in the second half where the Bears, and you got to credit that Texans defense. It wasn't their best night offensively. Joe Mixon got a little banged up, but when plays had to be made, they made them for the most part, specifically defensively and on special teams. A lot of penalties for the Texans, though. If there's one nit to pick, it's they had a ton of penalties tonight. And if you're playing a better opponent, you know, you're playing the likes of the Chiefs or one of those teams where, I mean, hell, next week they got the Vikings. I didn't think I would be saying a big week 3 matchup between the 2-0 Minnesota Vikings and the 2-0 Houston Texans. That wasn't on my bingo card before the season started. That wasn't on my bingo card last week, as a matter of fact. I thought the 49ers were going to take care of the Vikings in short order this week. So that was not on my bingo card that someone's O has to go in the right-hand column. But such is life. Here we are, right? They wouldn't beat the Vikings next week. One thing I can say about the Vikings, they aren't beating themselves. Darnold is making all the right moves. He's not turning it over, which is something that has been an issue for him his entire career. He's not turning it over. He's playing within himself, within the scheme. He's not trying to do too much because the defense is playing lights out and they're getting everything that they need. And he's just kind of managing everything. And when a throw needs to be made, he's making it. You beat yourself next week. You have 12 penalties. I think the Texans had 12 penalties tonight. You take that show on the road next week to Minnesota. You might not be as fortunate. You might not be as lucky. We'll see if Justin Jefferson plays. He got a little banged up today, but that's the one area I would say they have to clean up next week if they are to be successful. Not just next week, but moving forward. You can't have the type of penalties. They had a lot of penalties, undo big plays on one side of the football or the other. An interception was negated due to penalty. That CJ Stroud run at the end that would have iced the game, negated by a penalty. These are self-inflicted wounds that are avoidable. If you're the Texans, you just got to be better. Period. End of discussion. You have to be better and more disciplined, and they will. And they will. But they got it done tonight off the strength of their defense and special teams. And in this league, you just find a way to win. It's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be aesthetically pleasing. Just find a way to get it done. It wasn't pretty by any means tonight, but it was gritty. And most importantly, it was a Texans dub, and they moved to 2-0 on the season. And as Mike Tirico eloquently put it at the end of the telecast, they're 2-0. And everybody else in the division stands for Cleveland, or excuse me, everybody else in that division is 0-2. Titans are 0-2. Jacksonville's 0-2. Indy's 0-2. So you keep stacking them up like bricks. Meanwhile, you create a little distance between yourself and the rest of the division that is struggling mightily. You've already beaten Indy on the road, so you got that one in your back pocket. You're sitting pretty right now, up 2 on the rest of the division. Keep stacking them up in the left-hand column, sort them out later, see where it gets you. But you're feeling good if you're the Texans getting off to the fast start that they did. Man, is Nico Collins good. Man, it's like soon as CJ Stroud showed up, this abundance of confidence kind of came out of nowhere. And he's just playing the kind of football that they drafted him to play. And I'm happy for him. Glad he got the extension this summer. And I'm glad that he's morphed into what they thought he could be, because he didn't even play this well at Michigan, and he was highly recruited coming out of high school, and he never quite met his full potential in college, but he's reaching that potential and realizing it in the NFL, and it's rare that happens. It's usually the other way around. So Nico Collins is a problem, a big problem, and he was really good again tonight. Made a crazy one-handed catch, had a crazy diving catch to put the game away last week, had 117 yards and 6 catches last week. I don't know what the number was tonight. I don't think he went over 100 tonight, but he led the Texans in receiving. I can assure you of that. He had, 8 catches, 135 yards. On 10 targets. Nico Collins continues to light up the stat sheet, man. This dude is an animal. Love me some Nico Collins, man. I'm happy for him. So Texas get it done, 19-13, improved to 2-0 on the season. And this was a nice win by the Texans. So you get to the Bears side of things, and you're lucky to be 1-1 right now. You should be 0-2, to be honest with you, right? However, you're 1-1, and this is what is apparent. The Bears defense has picked up where it left off at the end of last year. That defense was humming, which is what I think saved Matt Eberflus's job towards the end of the season. They kind of got their act together. They started to play cohesive football. It was football that was very complementary. The offense still wasn't dynamic by any stretch of the imagination, but they were doing enough on that side of the ball, coupled with quality defense and special teams, and it was netting them better results. But this defense was playing lights out. And once they got Montez Sweat and Jalen Johnson, kind of turn it up a notch, and you saw all those young players kind of come to life, Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker. You started to see all those guys come to life. Some of the guys they signed in free agency, TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds, and all those guys kind of started to come to life once Montez Sweat hit that lineup, and they started to get pressure on the quarterback. And they've picked up where they left off. Last week, obviously, the pick 6. After a slow start, the Titans took advantage of some great field position and some opportunities. The Bears hunkered down defensively, didn't surrender a single point in the second half of that game. Special teams did their job. Defense poured in their part, and they were able to get away with the 24-17 victory last week. And I thought they played well enough defensively tonight to win as well. Like, had the offense provided them, or the special teams had provided them with something, they might have been able to sneak out of Houston with a dub. They played that well defensively. They got after CJ Stroud. They sacked him. Stroud continues to take care of the football. I got my eyes set on one of those records, though. That record of most passing attempts without an interception to start an NFL career. I'm looking at that thing. I'm eyeballing it side eye. I ain't really going to look directly at it, but I'm side-eyeing it, and I'm like, hey, Jaden, you see that number, right? He's like, yeah, I see it. I'm like, all right, don't stare at it. Don't let them know you're looking at it. But we side-eyeing that joint like, hey, what's that number? 147, you say? All right, bet. So I'm looking at that joint. I'm looking at it. I'm sizing it up. We got a ways to go, right? We got a long way before we can have that conversation. But CJ takes care of the football, and they almost picked him off. They sacked him. They made him uncomfortable. After I'd call it a pseudo fast start. This game was crazy in the first quarter. Action, fireworks, physicality, back and forth. It settled down tremendously in the second half. And a lot of it was because both defenses were playing ball. And this Bears defense came to play. They got after him. Gervon Dexter, he is so much better than I thought he was going to be coming out of Florida, man. He has really exceeded all my expectations. Looked like he cut down a little bit of weight, too. He looks to be in tremendous shape, and he is a problem up front, man. Watching him last week against Tennessee, he was so disruptive. And then watching him again tonight, I'm like, Jesus, this dude is everywhere. You couple him with Sweat, and you know how I feel about Booker. I think they got a steal there, and he's going to be a young guy that continues to develop. And then you look at the rest of that defense, just such a rich secondary full of defensive studs, young guys that are hungry to make plays. I just like what the Bears have on the back end. The linebackers are good veteran guys that can also, be difference makers when they want to. And so it's a really good defense. They play hard. They play physical. And if you give them opportunity, they'll take it away from you. But they get off the field on third downs. They can apply pressure. They can make you uncomfortable. And they did their part. You hold an NFL team, especially one like the Texans that we know can light up the scoreboard. You hold a team to less than 20 points in an NFL game, you should win that game, theoretically speaking. Doesn't always end up being the case, but you hold a team to less than 20 points, you've done your part defensively, and you deserve to have a chance to win. And it was unfortunate for them that they just didn't get enough from their offense. And that's where I want to go next, because there's going to be growing pains that come with a young quarterback. And it's like people they want instant results. This notion that there's supposed to be instant gratification with every single thing that is done is ridiculous to me. People want results now. They want it now. I say we live in a microwavable society because people want everything right now. And Caleb Williams, despite being the number 1 overall pick and a guy that was, labeled as having generational talent, he's young. And this man used to struggle in college with quality defenses. So this notion that he was just going to come in here, be Houdini, and be Patrick Mahomes, that was a false narrative. And keep in mind, people, wanted to compare him to Mahomes, this, that, and the third. Mahomes sat for an entire year. It is not the same. Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for an entire season, learned the position of quarterback in the NFL. When Mahomes got to the NFL, he was a wild man. He was a wild thoroughbred that needed to be tamed. And that year did him some good. I could only imagine what Mahomes would have done that first year. And people say, well, Andy Reid delayed the inevitable a year. They would have won the Super Bowl that first year. Bullshit. We'll never know. We'll never know. Bullshit. I'm calling your bluff on that. We'll never know what would have happened if he would have played that first year. He learned so much by sitting and watching. You can't tell me he didn't. And he learned the offense. But Caleb is young. Caleb is going to have his struggles. Tonight was one of those nights. Man, did he get abused tonight. I felt bad for Caleb Williams because he got banged up pretty damn good tonight. And I don't know how many times. I'm actually curious as to, because it felt like he got hit double-digit times. I'm going to say he got hit 10 times tonight. I'm going to say he got hit 10 times. I'm about to look it up right now. How many times he got hit? He was sacked 4 times. I do know that. How many times he was hit is what I'm curious about. Let's see. 11 QB hits for the Texans. I knew it was double digits. I knew it. I said, I'm going to go with 10 just to be on the safe side. But I was like, it felt like double digits. He was hit 11 times and he was sacked 7 times tonight. I misspoke. 7 sacks. Yikes. 1.5 each for Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. Whew. 7 of them things. He got hit 11 times tonight. They whooped his ass. It is what it is. It's the growing pains of a young fella trying to figure it out in this league, man. And I thought he, stood tall, took his medicine, but there's frustration. Did you see DJ Moore on that last miss on that back shoulder? Where I thought he was hurt. He rolled over, ripped his helmet off on the ground. I'm thinking, oh shit, he about to start writhing in pain. He got up and he walked like an 8-year-old with an attitude that just got sent to their room, right? Stomping, just get on my goddamn nerves, right? Mumbling under your breath and shit. He was mad. He was big mad. No! I don't get paid to argue with you. No. You mad. You big mad. He was steaming like Willie Beeman over there on that sideline. Had the do-rag on. That shit was tied tight, and he was hot. I said, uh-oh. Uh-oh. They desperately need Keenan Allen. And not just him being on the field and playing. Clearly, they missed him tonight, but they need him because he's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's going to keep the morale up. He's going to make sure everybody's good. And you got to remember, too, and you know, not to try to, make take a small situation and make it big. I was trying to think of the ant molehill shit, but I can never get that right. So I was like, just put that down and leave it where it's at. I don't want to take a situation and exacerbate it, make it worse than what it really is. But you got to remember, DJ Moore was a Justin Fields guy. He was a Justin Fields supporter. And remember, he just came off the best season of his NFL career with Justin Fields at quarterback. And that season got him paid this offseason about a year earlier than he was supposed to get paid, right? Maybe even 2 years before he had to get paid. They were so impressed with him. He vouched for Justin Fields at the end of last season and into the offseason. He said, that's above my pay grade. But if it was up to me, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. He was team Justin Fields. And then you bring in this young guy, all this fanfare. Everybody's talking about Caleb this, Caleb that. We get in these games. I'm open. He missed me on a deep ball last week for a touchdown. He missed me about 15 times tonight. And with the game on the line, I win back shoulder. I'm open. I created all this space for a back shoulder, and this man throws it 2 yards out of bounds. Oh, I'm pissed. Pissed the hell off. You say what you want about Justin, but he was hitting my ass last year. Pause. I think there's a little something there where he's like, yo, bro, what the man? And again, it's a process. But thank God they're 1-1 and not 0-2, because it could have got a lot uglier, right? It could be a lot worse. Caleb missed a lot tonight. And I think a lot of that was, due to that pressure. The Texans, they were coming after him, man. I mean, they were mixing up looks. They did what you're supposed to do to a young quarterback and making his second career NFL start. There were times where Caleb had no idea where the pressure was coming from. He would get sacked, and he had no idea that dude was coming after him free. Right? Something else that the Bears are going to miss that nobody's really talking about, and I like the stat that they showed tonight because I think it shines a little bit of a light on something else that Justin Fields brought to the table that you just underestimate. And then we're not going to have the Justin Fields versus Caleb discussion in 2 weeks in. Caleb's going to be just fine, right? But they were such a good rushing offense because Justin Fields, you had to account for his legs, right? They were one of the best rush teams in football last year. They averaged, I think I saw the stat they showed, they averaged over 140 yards rushing a game last season. Probably largely in part to Justin Fields and his legs, but you don't think that opened up rush lanes for Khalil Herbert and Deontay Foreman and all them dudes they had last year? You don't think that opened up rush lanes for them? Yeah, right. Those such lanes exist now with Caleb Williams back there. We don't expect him to run anywhere. So I said this before, I'll say it again. That Houdini shit works in college. Not everybody can pull it off. Not everybody's Patrick Mahomes. Not everybody can pull that shit off at the NFL level. Only a select few can get away with that shit. And Caleb is capable, right? He's capable. But it might take some time to get there. People just got to be patient and allow the process to work itself out. But this is what Nick Saban was talking about on Hard Knocks when he said, you as the coach have to manage expectations, because if you don't and you allow people, the media, the fans, everybody to run with this narrative of this dude is the savior, and if you put all this weight on his shoulders, people are going to expect him to do that. They're going to hold him to that standard. The late, great John Thompson, Big John, used to say, if you keep telling people that something is your fault, eventually they start to believe that it's your fault, right? You can't keep saying as a coach, it's on me, because eventually, you know what? Shit is on you, right? And you can't keep letting people build Caleb up and put all this pressure on him that he's the next guy. Every time we talk about the Bears, every time we talk about Caleb Williams, they haven't had a 4,000-yard passer, 30 touchdown yard quarterback ever in franchise history. And they start talking about Sid Luckman and pulling out all these names from the 40s and 30s and 50s and shit. Just let this man figure the shit out. And I get it. That's what comes with being the number 1 overall pick. These are the expectations and all that shit, but it's a lot. It looked like it was weighing on his ass tonight, along with the Texas defense. They got to get some semblance of a run game. He can't do this shit by himself. There was no run game last week. There was no run game tonight. You think Caleb going to be able to do this shit by himself? Wrong answer. They got to figure this out. They got to figure it out. Like I said, they're lucky to be 1-1 right now. They could easily and should be 0-2 right now. So they should be counting their blessings, but this is a good defense. And here's the thing he did tonight that he didn't do last week, and he's got to guard against this. He cannot turn the ball. Oh, look, if you're not going to contribute to us scoring points, please don't be the reason we get a shit up. That to me is one of the most, to me, easiest rules to follow. It's a cardinal sin for a young quarterback to come in and just start throwing the shit all over the yard and turning it over. If you're not contributing, look, if you scoring, 28, 29 points, do whatever, bro. Knock yourself out. We'll figure out the rest. But you scoring enough points for us to have a chance to win. Go ahead and do your thing. Whoa, there. But if you ain't scoring shit, then don't turn it over. Just give us a chance defensively and on special teams like you did last week. Don't turn it over. He had 2 picks tonight. One didn't cost him. The other cost him 3 points. And in a game that you lose by 6 and had the ball at midfield, essentially, with a chance to get in the field goal range, obviously you needed a touchdown. Texas might have played it differently if you just needed a field goal. I can't say, but, I don't like playing the what-if game, but what if? You know what I'm saying? What if? So he'll be fine. Caleb will be fine. But they got to help him out. This offensive line that they built got to be better. And you know what I've noticed with the young quarterbacks, all 3 of them, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams, is that these teams are going to blitz the draws off of these young quarterbacks until these coordinators and these quarterbacks can figure out how to beat the blitz. Until you figure it out, I'm going to wear you out with this blitz. They were wearing Caleb's behind out with that blitz tonight. Just coming after him. And a lot of times it won't but 5 men. But that's technically a blitz. And they were hitting home. And then when they would add a 6th rusher, oh, hell, you would have thought they was rushing 12. Because somebody was coming scot-free. And a lot of times, Caleb didn't even know. Till you solve pressure as a young quarterback, you're going to see a steady diet of it. Steady diet of the pressure. And it's Luke Getsy's job to figure out a way to alleviate that pressure, whether it's getting to a running back on a swing screen or a slant, something quick out of his hand. You got to adjust, though. Got to adjust. Defensively, the Bears gave themselves a chance tonight. Unfortunately for them, offensively, much like last week, they didn't get much. And unfortunately for the Bears, unlike last week where they were able to rely on the special teams to provide a touchdown, the defense to provide a touchdown, no such luck this week with a Texans team that, while was very undisciplined from a penalty standpoint, wasn't going to give you the football. Not anywhere you could do anything with it. They did have a fumble, but it was at your, 3-yard line. So now you got to go 97 yards if you want points. Good luck. If you want a touchdown, rather. Good luck. So Texans get it done, 19-13. Good win. If you're the Texans, just find a way to get it done. Find a way to get it done. And I think in order to be a really good team in this league, you have to have the ability to win in a multitude of ways. You can't just win one way. Because if you can only win by outscoring an opponent, if you can only win by holding up an opponent down, you're going to run into a team that's not going to allow you to do that and going to force you to play in a different way. And if you don't know how to, or you can't win in that manner, you're going to get eliminated at some point, right? You got to be able to say, hey, if you want to play in the high teens, low 20s, I can do that. If you want to take it to the high 20s, low 30s, I can do that. Like, if you want to play grind it out, gritty type football, I can do that. But if you want to take it there, if you want to score points, we can take it there. You got to have all of those tools in your bag in the Texans. When you're first learning how to win, you generally don't have all of those tools in your bag. That was the beauty of watching CJ Stroud last year, is because last year I didn't feel like they could grind out a lot of victories, but they did that towards the end of the season, especially when CJ Stroud got hurt and they had to win with Case Keenum at quarterback, and they were able to do that. But they showed the ability to outscore you last year too. You knew DeMeco Ryans coming over from San Francisco, they was going to play some defense. But the irony was they won a lot of games in shootouts last year. Those were the most memorable ones, at least. Now they've grown as a team. The expectations have heightened. You're no longer the hunter, you're the hunted. And now you got to be able to win in a multitude of ways. And in just the first 2 weeks of the season, they've shown the ability to win a pseudo shootout. I think that one was 34-29 or something like that. 31-29, I think it was, something to that effect. So they was able to win the pseudo shootout, and then they was able to win a grinded out affair 19-13 the next week. So they've shown you, I can do it that way, or I can do it this way. But whatever is necessary for us to get it done that week, we're up to the challenge. That's a good sign for the Houston Texans. They're growing as a team. So we will get to the comment section here in a second. But before we do that, let's first get to Inside the Odds, powered by BetUS.
Inside the Odds.
Looking for a new book this football season? BetUS is the answer. Fastest payouts in the industry. Get 10% back on your net losses up to twice a year. Again, how many in the industry are doing that? BetUS has upped the ante, though, and this is where they've taken it up a notch. You saw in the little graphic there that I played 125%. That's what it used to be. For my viewers, they've upped the ante to 150% sign-up bonus for up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits when you use the promo code YouTube150. That's right, 150% sign-up bonus for up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits when you use the promo code YouTube150. Go to betus.com, use the promo code YouTube150. All right. And we're going to talk about some of these odds that I found interesting with BetUS. They had some weekend specials. I'm going to throw a couple of those at you, but mostly I want to talk about this line in the game. So the line kind of corresponds with one of the specials that BetUS had this weekend. And on a weekend where there were tons of upsets, I think it's really interesting to look at some of these, right? So they had the Texans as 6.5-point favorites. They won by 6 points. So Vegas knows a little something, right? I think most people before this game would have taken the over on that. I would have. And I would have lost my money, right? Because they won by 6. Like, they set the number perfectly at 6.5. I always encourage people, buy the half point, push it to 7, right? Don't just leave it there. Give yourself a little bit more space to get that push just in case they won by a touchdown tonight. Instead of 19, it was 20. Give yourself that space to get that push, get your money back at least. But I thought they would win by more. The number was set again perfectly. The line was perfectly placed. The over-under on the game, 45.5 points. They fell way short of that, So, and again, I was thinking more along the lines of, I don't think I would have taken the over on that, but I thought they would have gotten closer to 45, because I thought the Texans were going to win this game something like 26, 27, to 16, something along those lines. Would have kept you short of the 45 number, but it would have put you right up under it, snugged up nice and tight, close to it. They didn't even get close. They didn't even get to what was it? 32 points total between the two teams, 19-13. So that would have been a big whiff there. Here's an interesting weekend special on BetUS. CJ Stroud and Caleb Williams combined for 700 yards passing in this game. Obviously, both would have had to put on a display. Neither of them hit 300. You needed both of them to either hit 300 or one to go nuts and go close to 400 and the other, either at 300 or just below it. But really, you were hoping both just went crazy, shootout, quarterback duel, both throw for over 350, and boom, you got your 700 right there. You're asking a lot of Caleb Williams in his second career start to do that. The man didn't even throw for 100 yards last week. So to think that those two could combine, if that number was 500, okay, now you got my attention. 700, though, you're asking for CJ Stroud to essentially carry the bulk of that weight. He would have had to throw for like 400 by himself, essentially. Because if let's say CJ Stroud threw for 370 in this game, you'd still need Caleb Williams to throw for 330. And he wasn't going to do that in his second career NFL start. You're not going to go from not throwing 100 yards last week all the way to 330 yards in your second start. Not happening. So it was an interesting, mashup that they put together there, but you were wasting money if you put your money down on that, right? You weren't going to get that. Here's something that was more interesting to me. A weekend special on BetUS. Once again, man, I'm telling you, BetUS, they be setting up some of these opportunities for you to make some money, right? So you had a chance to bet on the biggest blowout on Sunday, right? Look at all the options available to you. And so the biggest blowout ended up being Cowboys-Saints. Now, I think most people who would have bet on that would have been thinking it would have been the Cowboys doing the blowing out, not the Saints. As I'm looking at all these games, pretty much every game was decided by one score, a touchdown or less, with the exception of the Cowboys game and the Chargers-Panthers games. I think those were the two that kind of had distance. I don't remember the exact score in the 49ers-Vikings game, but I think it came down to an onside kick at the end. Vikings recovered and were able to take knees. So that was a one-score game, if I'm not mistaken. Raiders and Ravens, one-score game. Field goal got it done at the end. Bucks-Lions, 4-point game. Bears-Texans, 6-point game. Bengals, Chiefs, 1-point game. Saints, Cowboys was the ass thrashing of the day. Chargers, Panthers was another, decisive victory. Vikings, 49ers, 1-score game. Jets, Titans, 7-point game. Seahawks, Patriots, overtime game. Colts, Packers, 6-point game. Browns, Jags, 5-point game. Rams, Cardinals. Wait a minute. Timeout. Let me get a 30-second. How bad was that ass kicking? I got to actually see. That might have beat the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys game was 41-19, so that's 22. I'm not sure. I think the Rams Cardinals was the biggest blowout of the day. 31-point victory there. So that was the biggest one. Do you see where that is? You put down $100, you could have won $1,500 on rent. Now, who saw that coming? I didn't. I told you the Rams or the Cardinals were going to win. I didn't tell you they were going to win decisively by 31 points, however. But no, I brought this one up because Bears Texans was third on this list in terms of biggest blowouts. Again, the higher you are on this list, the more Vegas is convinced you have a chance to blow out the opposition. They thought this game had a chance to be a blowout. So did I. And as you can see, the Raiders outright won as a underdog. The Bucks outright won as an underdog, and the Texans did not cover. So it's interesting to see how the top 3 teams on this list didn't cover, right? And in the first 2, the underdogs won outright. And in the Bears Texans, the Texans did not cover the 6.5 spread. Right. Interesting stuff. I mean, and you keep going. The Chiefs didn't cover. The Cowboys lost, right? So the Saints as an underdog won outright. So, I mean, it was just crazy today, right? Just found that one interesting because you think, Vegas kind of gives you a sense of the pulse of what people think. And it just didn't go that way today, and including this game that we just watched. A lot closer than I think a lot of people thought going into the game, me included. So big shout out to BetUS for providing these numbers for us and allowing us to go inside the odds. Now let's get to the comment section and see what you guys have to say. If you're out there, you want your comment read, you know how this works. For those of you who don't, use the hashtag LouieTLive to have your comment read on the air if it is pertinent and time permits. Can't ensure that we're going to get to your comment, but use the hashtag LouieTLive to give yourself a chance. If you want to ensure that I get to your comment, ensure that we react to your comment, and you want to jump to the front of the line, super chats are the way to do that. That's going to allow your comment to be read for sure. So with that said, let's get to the comment section. And we start with Rocky D. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Rocky D writes, DeAndre Carter, Sims, what was his name? Cam Sims, Montez Sweat, Bobby Slowick. Damn. Was Cam Sims on one of those 2 teams? Oh, no. You talking about Steven Sims, not Cam Sims, not C Sims. Steven Sims on the Texans is what you're talking about. DeAndre Carter, Steven Sims, Montez Sweat, Bobby Slowick. Damn. It's a lot of former Commanders that we watched tonight. A lot of guys that were impactful too. Like Steve Sims has carved out a niche for himself as a return man in this league. I love DeAndre Carter. I never wanted us to let him leave. That's still one. If you ask me over the last 3 years, what was the most unnecessary? Oh, you could go. You could just walk. It was DeAndre Carter. Easy. We created a hole in our roster that wasn't necessary. We did not have, up until this year, and I'm not sure that we technically do have a guy, but Eckler did run a kickoff return back for a touchdown today that was negated via a very unnecessary penalty that didn't impact the play at all. So I can't say that we don't have a return guy, but up until this year, we didn't have anybody that was capable on returns. And we had a guy that ran a kickback for a touchdown for us and was dynamic as a return man every time he touched it. And we let him walk for nothing, for pennies on the dollar, for nothing. I still don't understand that one, but I digress. Bobby Slowick's going to be really good in this league. And you know who else is going to be really good? You know, the Saints got, the run game coordinator from San Francisco. Boy, he's lighting it up. If this shit continues in New Orleans, both of their asses getting jobs next year. Slowick was this close to getting one this past year, and he just needed a little bit more seasoning. He'll get it this year, probably get hired next year. But that dude in New Orleans that came from San Francisco, and remember, we wanted him too in Washington. We were eyeballing him as offensive coordinator. He is tearing, and we all know that Shanahan shit, man. You come from that tree, you a beast. You got it. You got the juice. He got the juice and the squeeze in New Orleans right now. I can't think of his name, but he got the juice and the squeeze in New Orleans right now. Mike Jink, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Mike Jink, writes, I'm down bad, Lou. Give up on some teams too early. Hey, look, man. You had a rough go of it last week. Are you trying to tell me that it's bad again this week for you? Talk to me, Mike Jink. Talk to me. Now, this is what I need you to tell me, because I need to know that you're okay. You got to tell me that Tiff ain't over there trying to go 10, 11 wins again like she did last week. Because Tiff went, 12-4 last week, I believe? Created some real distance between the two of you. Because you went 8-8 last week. So are you trying to tell me you're already sub double digits already this week? Talk to me. We still got a game left. I might be, depending on what the Eagles do, I'm eyeballing 10-6 2 weeks in a row. I'm fine with that. As crazy as today was, I'm good at 10-6. Eagles win tomorrow. I'll finish out with double-digit wins 2 weeks in a row. And I'm just steady. Steady wins the race, right? I don't want the ebbs and flows, the 14-2 1 week, 8-8 the next week. That's what I'm trying to avoid. That's the shit that gets you beat, right? Steady wins the race. You struggling over there? You down bad right now, Mike J? Talk to me, man. I got you. If you need me, I got you. Let me know. Let me know something. Big Money Sonny. Clint Kubiak. That's him, Colin. Thank you. Clint Kubiak killing it in New Orleans. Killing it. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes 7 field goals, Lou. So it's all in how you look at it, Is it 7 field goals or is it 7 scores on 7 possessions? One kind of feels like you're at one end of the spectrum. The other feels like you're at the other end of the spectrum. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not going to just dismiss the fact that we went 0 of 6 in the red zone. Impossible to do that. You'd be a damn fool to act as if we didn't bungle away opportunities to blow the damn Giants out and win this game comfortably. However, we did score on every single possession in the game where we actually tried to score. And we did not punt in the ball game, and there wasn't a 4th down failed conversion. There wasn't a turnover. They said the last time the Commanders didn't punt in a game was 2021 against the Packers. You know how many turnovers we had in that game? Taylor Heineke had like 19 turnovers in the first half of that game. That's why we didn't punt. This ain't that. So you can look at it as 7 field goals. I look at it as, 7 field goals is rough. When you got in the red zone 6 of those times. It wasn't like the Texans where your kicker kicked 3 50-yard field goals. That's different than kicking 31, 30, 27, 31, 33. That's the shit that hurts, right? But it's the fact that we got down there that many times. It's the fact that we were 50% on third downs. It's the fact that in the face of adversity, with the game on the line, in his second career start, our rookie quarterback took us down the field and got us into chip shot field goal range for the game-winning kick. You can look at it whatever way you want. Yeah, it was 7 field goals. But we won. It was enough. It could have been 5 and we could have lost. Which one you want? Talk to me, man. Which one you want? 5 and a loss? Or 7 and a win? Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Lou, we ain't nice. And I appreciate you taking care of the squad. Let me stop you right there. Who said we were nice? Where did you hear that at today? Anywhere. Who used the word commanders and nice in the same sentence? Who did that? You did that? Because I had an argument with a Giants fan today that was unappreciative of us doing them a favor. These people asked us to beat them, then we beat them, and now they mad. Which one is it? Pick a side. Pick a side. You want us to help you out, or you really want to win, but you're going to fall on the crutch and use the crutch of, well, we need to lose to get a quarterback. Which one is it? Do you want to win? I asked Bad Dog flat out because I don't like dudes playing both sides of the fence. Pick a side, stay on that side, right? And Bad Dog said, I don't want to lose. F that. I want to win. Okay, you picked a side. I appreciate you. It's the people that want to, I don't want to win, right? I don't want to win. We need a quarterback. Then when they lose, they get bent out of shape and they want to point the finger at other people and they pissed off. You wanted to lose. I thought you wanted to lose. What you mad about? I don't understand. Help me. I thought you wanted this. Now you mad? You mad. You big mad. This is the thing. He tried to say, y'all not nice. We garbage. Y'all beat us. And I said, who said we was nice? Did that ever come out of my mouth today? I did a stream for about 3 hours today, give or take. Did the sentence nice and commanders come out of my mouth in the same sentence talking about them? Did I say, man, we are a good football team? Did I ever say that? Because it sounds like you're insinuating that either I or someone that is a fan of this team said that we were nice because we beat the Giants with 7 field goals. It's okay to be happy that you won while still understanding that there's tons of work to be done and you are far from a finished product. It's okay to do both of those things simultaneously. I don't know where this narrative of, oh, we nice. I never said that. And I don't think anybody that was on the stream that we talked about, that we talked to, who had a comment, said anything about us being nice. There was a lot of, hey, we did this, but, or hey, we still trash, or hey, our defense sucks, or hey, it's this, that, and the third, but I'll take it. We won. And that's the way you should be reacting. Like, I don't understand this narrative of we nice. Who said that? Not I. We asked, keep it a buck. Again, who said that we weren't? Again, this is where the disconnect happens. Are you hearing a different language? Are you hearing things being translated to you in a different Sanskrit or something that I don't know anything about? Nobody said we weren't ass. We won a game. It's okay to win a game and be happy that you won. I don't give a shit who it comes against. We won. When are we going to find that end zone? We scored 3 touchdowns last week. Stop acting as if we didn't score touchdowns a week ago. You're making it seem like we the Giants, right? Giants didn't score a touchdown last week. They scored 3 touchdowns this week. One happened recently, the other happened a week ago. So are you going to have recency bias? since the Giants scored 3 touchdowns, they good now. No. They scored 6 points last week. So in 2 games, we scored 20 and 21. Now, it was unconventional this week, but it's still, you're averaging over 20 points a game, something we haven't done in 3 years. Keep this up, and who knows, we might throw a parade for these boys for averaging over 20, 23 points a game. Let's see where this goes. They didn't find the end zone for 1 week. I've been a fan of this team, and I've gone through seasons where we didn't find the end zone for a month. Get out of my face with that nonsense, man. Tripping. Straight tripping. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Big Money Sonny writes, JD gonna figure that out. Top 5 when it's done. Now you can start using that top 5 dead or alive. Now it's apt. You can start rolling that one back out again. All right. You know the rest, Lou. Pun intended. Yeah. You can start rolling that one back out. Now that one actually makes sense. Not when you were using the shit for Heineke and all kinds of other bums that rolled through here. Now this shit actually makes sense. Top 5. Dead or alive. You know what it is. Frankie, yo. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Frankie, yo, writes, I hear you're not re-signing DeAndre Carter as the worst move we made, and I raise you cutting Morgan Moses for absolutely no reason. So we don't know it was absolutely no reason. I think Morgan Moses was one of those veterans who spoke up about the way things were going. Remember, another veteran that didn't like the way that Ronald Rivera and company came in and were doing things. And again, you know, it's a hard, you know, it's a hard fight to rationale, because like Rivera said when he went to Carolina, they brought me here because you won 2 games last year. So the way you were doing the shit clearly wasn't good enough. So if you're going to complain to me about how shit was being done and how I'm coming in here and changing shit, there's the door. Because clearly you don't want to win. If you're okay with 2-14, by all means, go do that shit somewhere else. And so Morgan Moses, remember, Matt Ioannidis spoke up too. Matt Ioannidis did not like the, you know, defensive line coach that we all said was trash. He knew it a lot sooner than we did. Okay. Took us a year to figure out that Sam Mills III was horrible as a defensive line coach. I show them film of Ryan Kerrigan rushing all the time. Right? He knew that shit immediately because he knew what good defensive line coaching looked like from Jim Tom. So you bring in this dude? I'm supposed to respect. Okay, yeah, nah, this ain't gonna work. And maybe Morgan Moses was one of them veterans that's, because Morgan was a very outspoken dude. I don't know if you remember. Momo didn't give a shit. If he had something to say, he was gonna say it. And that might have rubbed some people in the building the wrong way. When you coming in and you trying to change the culture and you got veterans pushing back, you got to get rid of them dudes. And I think that was, Morgan was one of those dudes. But yeah, we didn't like, if they just got rid of Morgan because they felt like we drafted Sam Cosmi and we want to play him, then that was a bad move. That was a bad move. Now, if they got rid of Morgan because he was mouthing off and he was vocal and he had clout in that locker room, then I understand why they did it. I don't have to like it, but I understand why they did it. You got to understand, though, moving on from Morgan Moses it cut deep twice because that was Brandon Sheriff's best friend. So once they got rid of Morgan Moses, Brandon Sheriff was like, I'm definitely not re-signing here. He was done the minute Morgan Moses was done. He was gone. So I can't tell you that I can't tell you why they did or didn't, you know, I can't tell you why they did what they did with Morgan Moses. I'll just say that. There could have been a reason. There was no reason with DeAndre Carter. They just, They drafted Dax Milne and they felt like, well, let's give Dax Milne a chance. Are you kidding me right now? Dax Milne? Really? That's why you're getting rid of DeAndre Carter? Because you drafted Dax Milne? Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Big Money Sonny writes, nah, Lou, I still believe we nice regardless. F all that. No, you don't. Stop that shit, Big Money Sonny. Stop that shit. Stop it. He says all day. Let's effing go. Hey, look, we gonna wrap it. That burgundy and gold all day, every day. Till we dead and cold. We already know what it is. But ain't no way I'm gonna sit here and let you talk that foolishness. All right. We got to keep it a bean around here. We got a long way to go. But this is gonna be a fun season. And I told y'all that last week after watching the offense and watching the film. I was like, you know what? We got something. I feel even better about it this week than I did last week, despite the red zone struggles. 7 scores is 7 scores, right? Like, not punting is a big deal. Now, again, generally speaking, you kick 7 field goals, you're probably not going to win. We had the right opponent with the right set of circumstances. Great. We got it done. But the fact that we didn't punt is huge. Huge. Edward Washington, my guy, Ed Dub. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, glad we had the second pick so we weren't tempted to get Caleb. I think JD will be the better QB when it's all said and done. It's a lot of time. It's easy to play that game 2 weeks in. I'm not going to do that yet. I've already told you, I do believe this. We have the offensive rookie of the year here in Washington. I do believe that. Now, what does that actually mean? It doesn't mean it doesn't have to mean anything. Robert Griffin III won rookie of the year in 2012. Andrew Luck was the better quarterback. So, I mean, doesn't mean anything that you won that award. It sure does help, though. It sure does help. It means you played really well in your rookie season. They don't just give that award away, right? So, I think I'm gonna be bringing those odds to your doorstep here shortly, because last week Caleb took a hit, and Jaden closed the gap considerably with his play. After this performance, Jaden doing what he did, Caleb throwing 2 picks and struggling a little bit and getting his first loss, I'd like to think that gap has closed even more considerably to where he's not the, runaway favorite. He was the considerable favorite going in. Odds-on favorite, and there was a nice bit of distance between he and the next rookie, which was Jaden Daniels. That doesn't exist anymore. And if you were smart, you would have put money down at the beginning of the season before the season actually started, when you got some good odds, because now Jaden's going to be, at some point, Jaden will be minus something. He'll be minus something, and I think he'll surpass Caleb Williams if it continues. But we got a long ways to go. We just 2 weeks in. We'll see if, look, there are a lot of people who wanted Caleb. A lot of people who wanted Caleb over any other quarterback in the draft. I wasn't too sure about him. I knew the talent existed. He's crazy and he's super talented, but there were always questions about him in the pocket. And I think that's something he's going to have to continue to work at. He's not the biggest guy in the world, height-wise. He's not the tallest guy. That was more apparent in week 1. It wasn't as big a deal today or tonight with the batted balls and things. We saw a lot of that in week 1 against the Titans. So, we'll see. We'll see who turns out to be the best quarterback of the two, right? Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Big Money Sonny, writes, I'm getting older, Lou. The time is now, brother. Where's Wild Goose at? You still got that jersey? Hey, I hear you. As you get older, man, you like, bro, look, man, like Jerry Jones, like, I'm running out of time. I need this shit to happen now, right? I hear you. Patience is a virtue. Hard to convince people about patience when they've been waiting for, a very long time. And I get that too. Elf Life, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Elf Life writes, the Bengals are so gonna baptize us on Monday. I think so too. I think so too. But, at this point, we got our one that we needed to get so that we wouldn't find ourselves in that conversation when teams, like I was looking at some odds. I showed you some odds from the game via BetUS, and I was looking at some other odds on the site. And one of the odds was last team to win a game this season, right? And we weren't even on the list. I was like, we hadn't won yet either, right? But from an odd standpoint, we weren't even on the list. And I just wiped my brow like, phew, what a relief, right? You lose today, we would have been on that list. You lose today, we would have been on that list. I don't even want to be in that conversation. Leave us out of that. Those days are over, right? The Ravens, surprisingly, are on that 0-2 list. Who knew, right? And I think it could get out of hand on Monday night, though. I think this is one of those games where I don't ask the fellas to win necessarily. I just ask them to not embarrass me. I think it's one of them type nights. They just don't go in there and be deer in headlights and get clobbered 38-13. Like, show some class. Don't show your ass. Show some class. Okay. So I think it's gonna be, but we'll see. I'm just right now, I'm just gonna enjoy this win. I don't want to think about next Monday. I just want to enjoy the dub, right? And just enjoy the win, being 1-1, victory Monday, all of that good stuff that comes with winning, right? Because think about it. Think about it. When's the last time we were in victory circle? You know? Do you know the last time we won a game? Huh? Can you tell me the last time we won a game? What week it was last season? You know? Most people can't even tell me the last time we won a game. It's been a while. All right. We finished with the longest losing streak in the NFL last year. A lot of people didn't know that. We finished with the longest losing streak in the league last year. So just to get one? Shit. Damn if I ain't gonna celebrate. People trying to come at me on socials. You beat the Giants. And? Your point? I'm looking at the standings. I'm like, first of all, this is the thing about me. And this is the thing you got to understand. I don't bother nobody. I don't go on nobody else's timeline trying to incite riots, trying to conjure up conversations or talk shit about. It's people that bring the shit to my doorstep. I just respond. That's it. But I told y'all, let us get nice. Let us get nice. I'm going to be unbearable. I'm going to be unbearable. But we ain't nowhere close to that. Big Money Sonny, thank you for your generosity. Shout out to the 20 new members that Big Money Sonny has blessed. Stand up. All of y'all are in the building, courtesy of our guy, Big Money Sonny. Really appreciate you, Big Money Sonny, and all that you do. Really appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much for blessing 20 new members with membership to the greatest mob squad in the land, the MOBB. Shout out to everybody that's now on board because of our guy, Big Money Sonny. And shout out to you, Big Money Sonny, for your generosity. Really, truly do appreciate you. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB once again, who writes, Lou had to show some love and gift memberships. When we going to get up to the top with the football, Lou? Look, it's a process. And I usually I say, and I ain't got nothing but time. But as you mentioned, you're getting older. It's a lot of older fans. It's like, yo, need this shit to kind of hurry up, right? Baby steps. A lot of people want to skip steps. Baby steps. One step at a time, 1 foot in front of the other. That's how these things go when you in the middle of a recalibration. Yep, a lot of holes on this roster. Yep, a lot of things need to be done. Let's worry about what we got. People so fixated on wanting to fix the situation right now. We should go get this guy, Xavier Howard, and let's go get Patrick Peterson for what? Wow. What is that going to do? Can't be any worse. Oh, yeah? Huh. All right, cool. So, what, you win one extra game because you get one of those dudes? What does that do? Who cares? Like, just let's see what the dudes we got here can do for us, right? Continue to develop the talent that is here, and we'll know exactly what we need going into next year. Let's just play football, man, with the guys we got. Let's see what this coaching staff is all about. We finna find out how good these coaches really truly are. We thought that we built this all-star, staff. Well, let them earn their paychecks. Let them earn their keep. Let's find out what we got. It's easy to, I won't say it's easy. It's easier to coach when you got talent. It's a lot harder when you're trying to make the most out of really nothing. See what they got. I'm interested. Rocky D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Rocky D writes, every year we beat a team we have no business beating. For me, it's either Cincy or B-More. I'm taking Cincy. It's funny they're both 0-2 right now. Right. Usually we beat a team we have no business beating. I don't think we beat anybody that we weren't supposed to beat last year. We beat Arizona, we beat Denver, we beat Atlanta and New England. 4 bad teams last year. So I don't think we beat anybody that we weren't supposed to beat last year, but I get your point. Most years we jump up and we bite somebody, the Eagles 2 years ago, the 49ers, or the Steelers in 2020. I get where you're coming. The Buccaneers they were defending Super Bowl champs in 2021. I get where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying. I feel like we were supposed to jump up but in order to jump up and bite somebody that you're not supposed to, you got to play defense. That's the only reason why I'm like, I don't know if we're going to do that or not. Because in order to jump up and bite somebody, you got to play the kind of defense that's going to give you a shot. The shit that we on right now, the only way you jumping up and biting anybody is if them red zone trips turn into touchdowns and you willing to go to a shootout with somebody. Are we prepared to go take 6 paces, turn around and pew, it had the quickest gun in the West? Are we ready to do that? Or in this case, the quickest gun in the East? We ready to do that? I don't think we're ready to do that yet. Maybe 5 weeks from now, we might be ready to do that. But not in week 3. So, hey, anything can happen. That's why they play the game. But like Elf Life said about 7 minutes ago or so, feels like we getting set up for an ass whooping on Monday. It was the one game I circled on the schedule when it came out when I said, oh, shit, this feels like a kamikaze mission. It was the only game that I looked at and said, this one feels like we got 0 chance. All the rest of them, even the Baltimore game, I'm like, hey, we can win that game. Or at least make it super competitive. That Monday night on the road, and now you add to the fact that they're 0-2 and they're desperate. Their backs are against the wall. They can't fall to 0-3. Yeah, it doesn't look good for the good guys. I'll be honest with you. It's crazy because who would have thought either one of them teams would be 0-2 right now, right? Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Big Money Sonny writes, Ravens kicked me out of the Survivor, homeboy. F out of here. LOL. Yeah, man. I wonder what the Survivor pool looked like. Most people should have taken the Chargers. I don't think a lot of damage was done, but there were so many upsets today that I could see somebody picking the 49ers thinking they was just going to waltz into Minnesota. I was guilty as charged. It's crazy because my guy, Niners fan, I don't know if y'all remember this, last week or after the Monday night game, Niners fan was like, that was a good win, this, that, and the third, but, we're going to get a real test in Minnesota on Sunday. I was like, what? You being modest. Let me do the bragging for you. Y'all ain't going to get no real test. Y'all going to put boot to ass next week against the Vikings. And what the hell? And now I was armed, unlike the Cincinnati Bengals getting me eliminated from the Survivor pool the week prior. I was armed with the information that I needed to make a sound decision. They had the 49ers have not won in Minnesota since 1992. That's real shit. And that's not to be ignored. And yet, I still said, well, all streaks are made to be broken. And here it is. And it's just certain teams, like when we play the Giants, and you can't explain it. When you play certain teams, there's just something that is almost like there's other forces at work. I watched that 49ers game today, and they were going out of their way to make sure that they did not win that game. They were being special with the shit that they were doing. The turnovers, the batted balls, the 97-yard touchdown they gave up to Justin Jefferson. They went out of their way to be special to make sure that they didn't win that game. Did you hear Brock Purdy after the game tell the Vikings defensive coordinator, hey, man, you got a hell of a scheme? Like, he literally told him that. It's crazy. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Big Money Sonny, writes, peace and love, Lou. You know I got your back, homie. The time is now. Talk to me nice this week again at Cincy. All 22s around that corner, y'all. You know what it is. You know what it is. And that's all I'm telling Giants fans. And hell, even some Cowboys, talk to me nice this week. Or don't talk to me at all. I had a Cowboys fan roll up on me. I wasn't even talking to him. He came out of the shadows, lurking. Y'all beat the Giants today. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Talking to me? You can't be talking to me. Not with what y'all just did today. Bro, stop. The only reason I even brought the Cowboys up is because a guy hit me up last week. You know I'm petty. And I don't say nothing in the moment. I let shit slide. But he sent me, a tweet where he was retweeting Ed Warder talking about all of these statistical, landmarks that Mike Zimmer hit in week 1 against Cleveland. I sat here and I told y'all that Cleveland is trash. And I'm like, it's cool. And that's what you're supposed to do. You take the trash out. And that's what they did. And I'm not beating you up for that, but don't puff out your chest. Don't puff out your chest. Like, Giants fans trying to make it seem like I'm trying to puff out my chest. I'm just happy we won. I'm not puffing out my chest. I'm not telling you. I'm not sending you a list of things that we did well today. I could, but why? I'm just happy we won. I know we're not a good team. I'm just happy we're off the schneid. But Cowboys fan, that wasn't good enough for them last week.
Look at me. We got Mike Zimmer. Look how good our defense was. We had all these sacks and we forced all these turnovers and we had all these pressures and we're number one in this and that and that. And I like, bro, it was the Browns. And you know what? I had the audacity to ask the Saints to prove to me that they was real. I said, New Orleans, show me that you ain't a fraud. They said, more? Us? Frauds? He talking to us? Us. Frauds. You talking to us or them? Oh, I might have been talking to them, the Cowboys. Because they look like the frauds today. Huh. Isn't that strange? Yet somebody want to come at me? Talking about you beat the Cowboys, you beat the Giants. And you beat the Browns. What is your point? What is your point? We didn't give up 35 points in the first half of no game this season. Not a one. Okay? The Saints took it easy on you in the second half. They could have scored 60 today. Alvin Kamara outscored you by himself. The audacity. Leave me alone, okay? Because you really don't want this smoke. Leave me alone and let me enjoy my one little win in peace. Because you know I can get really funky real quick. And y'all don't want none of that. Leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone. Let me enjoy my one win. Because you can get the smoke. And I told you, I'm not even looking for the smoke. I'm bypassing the smoke. I'm going straight to the fire. I want the flames. Leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone. Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Swaggy P, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, JD5 looking like the best rookie quarterback. It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. Yes, he does look like the best of the three right now, for sure. But it's 2 weeks. You know, I'm not going to go crazy. But this is what I can tell you. In 2 weeks, we got our guy. I can tell you that. But I told you guys this when we were going through all the quarterbacks. I said, JD5 has the highest floor of any of these quarterbacks. Meaning he was going to be the one most ready to come in and help you win right away. And he's proven that. Not going to turn it over. Going to give you a shot with his legs. Can make all the throws. He's poised. Right? Like everything that we thought we were getting, we got so far. But it's just 2 games. So, you know, I can't tell you what the rest of the season is going to look like. But what I can tell you is we got one. Damn, it feels good to say that. We got one. This kid can play. And it ain't a fluke. And it ain't Robert Griffin III. It won't be as magical. I can't say that it won't, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be as magical as 2012. We didn't even know what 2012 was. We were 3-6 that season, and Mike Shanahan was evaluating players for next season. So we don't know what this season is going to bring, but I don't think it's going to be magical like 2012. But there's substance here. There's sustainability with Jaden Daniels. Hunter Hodovic, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Hunter. Double H writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, sup, T? Hope you and yours are doing well likewise, Hunt. I didn't get to watch the game, and I haven't watched the archive yet. Talk to me, man. How do we look? Hunter, bro, I told you that this was going to be a roller coaster ride, right? Like, this season was going to be crazy. Full of ups and downs, twists and turns. We got all of that in one game, okay? The defense is going to drive you to drink for the second consecutive week.
The offense is going to wow you at times, and then it's going to also drive you to drink once we get into the red zone. But you're going to appreciate the ability of the offense to sustain itself. You're going to appreciate that more than anything else. And you're going to appreciate the field goal kicker, who's going to win NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. And I saw that he got the game ball. I haven't watched the clip yet, but I told y'all he was getting the game ball. And I love the fact that they put him up on their shoulders. That was a pretty cool moment, man. I love to see it. I love it. You're going to enjoy the game because you know the outcome. But if you were watching it in real time, it's like any other Commanders game. It comes down to the final moments. You died twice, had to be brought back to life with the defibrillator. And you're like, I can't keep living like this. Big ups to Malik Neighbors, too. And you're going to know why when you watch the game. Hunter out of it. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Hunter out of it. Right. Also, for the double up, because it's been a while, Coleman look okay. So he didn't play a lot. I think he played less in this game than he did the last game. He played 14 snaps last game. I'm going to say he played 12 snaps this week, if that. He was good. I thought he got banged up on a play, came out, but he was good. He was answering questions in the locker room after the game, so he should be fine. But yeah, I don't think he played a ton, right? And we actually have a kicker for now, LOL. That's the key phrase, for now, right? Hopefully he's the kicker for the long haul, but for now. Try not to get my hopes up on that. Me too. You hit it right on the head, Hunter. I'm the same way. You should have heard so many people after the game saying, we found the kicker. And I'm like, I hope you're right. Because as excited as I am for this one game, I'm like, shit could turn. It's a week-to-week league. Next week, he could be 1 of 4. And that same shit you was talking last week, you ain't feeling that way this week, right? So I'm trying to stay positive, and I hope that he's the guy. But you know how I go, man. You know how I go, Hunter. Hunter, out of it. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Double H, right? And one more thing. He says, for the first dub of the season and that Cowboys loss, feels good, man. Hope you have a great night, y'all. Likewise, Hunter. Good to have you back. Good to hear from you, man. I was telling everybody earlier, it was so fun watching the demise of the Cowboys on one screen and then watching the Commanders find a way to win on the other screen. It doesn't get much better than that. Watching those two things happen simultaneously while beating another NFC East opponent at the same time, right? That's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It doesn't get much better than that. And then having the Cowboy stone be a boulder that absolutely crushes them and leaves blood and guts and gore everywhere. That is almost euphoria when you couple it with a Commanders win. Almost. It's not quite there, but boy, it's close. Tremendous satisfaction. Okay? Tremendous satisfaction. You have a great night, Hunter. Big Money Sonny. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Big Money Sonny. Right. Meanwhile, all I saw was a Mahomes commercial talking about field goals. Again, meanwhile, we got 7. What can we say? Go hard or go home, right? We don't know how to do anything halfway, right? Let's get it. We locked in at kicker finally, Lou? Question mark. Look, I don't know, man. I don't want to get too excited and then next week we singing a different tune about him. Let's just enjoy this one for now, right? Let's not, it's almost like a no strings attached relationship where one of the people in the relationship, they start trying to make it into something. He's like, hey, let's just enjoy what we have. Let's just enjoy this for what it is. Let's just leave it at that, right? Let's not mess this up. We got a good thing going here. Let's not talk about the future right now. Let's just enjoy this night, okay? Let's just enjoy this game, and then we'll revisit this next week. And if he has another good showing, then we can start to say, hey, he's built up some equity so that if he goes and hits a rough patch, he's built up some equity with us. But one game does not build up sufficient equity for you to then go piss it away next week, right? We need 3 or 4 games stacked on top of each other where we go, okay, this guy's good. And then if he hits a rough patch, you can say, hey, deep down in there somewhere we know is a good kicker because we've seen it. Give him a shot. Back off. We don't have that equity built up yet. Talk to me nice, Lou. We sniffing that end zone. Watch. I hope so. I hope so. For now, 7 field goals will do just fine. That was enough to get a win. So I'll take it. Big Money Sonny. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Big Money Sonny writes, JD looking nice. You know the vibe. Come on now. You know I know the vibe. I'm feeling good about him. I had a Giants fan tonight tell me that Daniel Jones outplayed JD5 today. I was going to let him off the hook. I had already said my shit. I already talked my piece to him, because he was one of those, he don't know how to pick a side Giants fans. Before the game, I want y'all to beat us. After we beat him, he mad because we beat him. And calling us garbage, this, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, why the hostility? Why are you mad? I thought you wanted this. Just say thank you. Talk to me nice. And move on. You got your L. You got what you came for. You should be appreciative. And he all in his feelings. And, Daniel Jones played better. DJ played better than Jaden. Whoa. Whoa, buddy. Hold your horses. Whoa, Nelly. I had to let him have it after that. I couldn't let him off the hook after that. I tried to take the higher road, right? I tried to take the high road. I couldn't do it after that. I had to be petty. He got mad. And that's fine. I didn't mind. He crossed the line. Hunter Hodovic, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Hunter Hodovic writes, oh, my bad, T. I meant your archive of streams. I know what you meant when you said I hadn't been, watching the archive. I haven't checked the archives. I also assumed, because I think you said you hadn't watched the game yet either. So I assumed you hadn't been watching any of my videos and you hadn't watched today's game. That's what I assumed when you said that. But I could be wrong. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Big Money Sonny writes, said this within the chat just now. B-Rob should be all day like Peterson, all day. Run the rock, and when we going up top again, Lou, getting older, Lou, just saying, FYI, Dallas got to deal with us. Got dealt with, excuse me. They did big time. At some point, you got to assume play action fake is coming. You got to assume that the shots that we didn't take in this game, that we only took one of last week and had a shot with Terry, it's coming soon. Coming to a field near you. You just got to be patient. Again, baby steps. B-Rob is a beast. And I sound like a broken record, and I've been saying this, but I'm going to continue to say this. Looking for a new book this football season? BetUS is the answer. Fastest payouts in the industry. Get 10 back on your net losses twice a year. BetUS is up the ante for my viewers. 150% sign-up bonus for up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits using the promo code YouTube150. Go to betus.com and use the promo code YouTube150 for 150% sign-up bonus for up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Like how I slid that one in there on you, huh? I've always said B-Rob. It was never about talent, but always about opportunity. He's getting that opportunity, and he had the biggest game of his career today because they stuck with him and they continued to give him the rock. He should have had an even bigger day with a couple of touchdowns in the mix, but it didn't happen. Rocky D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. My guy, Rocky D writes, poor Bryce Young was crying on the field. Damn. No, he wasn't. Stop it, Rocky. Stop it. Was he really? Because I watched him last week and he still had that Bryce Young charisma and smile as shit was crumbling around him. He still had that Bryce Young charm that. Was he really crying on the field? I don't believe you. You just saying stuff, Rocky. He wasn't crying, man. Ain't no crying in football. Anyway, I digress. I'm gonna have you got me wanting to go check it out. Hunter Hodovic, thank you for being a member for 30 months. Like button, y'all. Also, I'm loving the B-Rob love, man. I am too. It's long overdue. I'm glad he's finally getting his just due. And I knew that this group was going to make sure that he ate because I heard the way Cliff was talking before the season started. And he said, a lot of people don't know about Brian Robinson like they should, but they're going to know after this season. And I said, that's what I like to hear. And when you got a young quarterback, the run game is his best friend. Take some pressure off. That's the thing that we didn't see tonight from the Bears with Caleb Williams. How many rushing yards did they have tonight? I'm going to say they had less than 50 rush yards. Nope, Caleb had that one big run for 30 yards by his damn self almost. So I'm going to say 70 yards. They didn't have 70 yards rushing tonight. 71. I'm a bad mofo. 71 yards, and Caleb had 44 of them, and 24 came on one run. DeAndre Swift, 14 carries, 18 yards. Khalil Herbert, 2 carries, 3 yards. Travis Homer, 1 carry, 6 yards. That's what's going to get your quarterback ate up like he did tonight. There is no support from the run game. You're asking this young fella. This man almost threw it 40 times tonight. That's a hard way to live. It's a hard way to live with no run game. We watched that shit happen last year. That's a tough existence. Big Money Sonny. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Big Money Sonny, writes. Lou, he said, let's get it, Lou. You know what it is. Salutes. Again, I truly appreciate everything, homeboy. When we going up top, Lou? I think we're going to take a couple shots next week. I don't know if we're going to hit any of them, but I think like when the season started, the Terry block was hot. The block is hot. The block is hot. Block is hot. Block is hot. I think after these first 2 games, they ain't checking for 17 no more, man. You can go outside. You can look around. Ain't no police presence out there. It's quiet. Ain't no more double teams. It's just one-on-one coverage out here, man. Coast is clear. I think next week we might see a Bengals team that might, because they see fresh meat. Jaden is fresh meat. He ain't dealt with the blitz well these first 2 weeks. None of these young boys have. And Cincinnati might decide, hey, let's dial it up. Who's going to hurt us? De'Ami Brown? Who's going to hurt us? Now, they got blessed by Noah Brown last year. Noah Brown single-handedly spanked those boys last year. Put him over his knee and paddled him. Right? So they know about Noah Brown, but they ain't respecting him like that. But I really don't think they respect Terry. We might have a chance to go up top. Now, if you're talking about overall, like when we going to be nice again, I don't know, man. I said the third year is when I'm expecting for us to compete for some real shit. Like next year, and we got to see how this year goes, because that'll set the expectations for next year. Next year, we should be competing for, like, the expectation should be the playoffs or just falling short of it. But then if you just fall short of it this year, then the expectation is without question the playoffs next year, right? So we just got to see what it looks like. Rocky D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rocky D writes, nah, dead ass. Bryce Young picture was trending. Not MJ meme status, but fans booed dude, and I think it got to him. Welcome to the NFL. Oh, man, I got to go check on the youngin'. I got to go check on him. Yeah, that one was out. It's different when you on the road. When you come home with that shit, ouch. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If they put Andy Dalton in the game, I guarantee you these games would be a lot more competitive. Damn, I feel for the young fella. Nice kid, too. That's why you just feel for him. Bad situation, though. I might have to go check on him. Make sure he all right. Yikes. Zoinks! Scoob! That's rough. Anyway. I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. Want to give a shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this stream. Once again, if you'd like to sign up for BetUS, go to betus.com and use the promo code YouTube150. That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T, here on Sunday Night Football Overtime. Texans get it done. Ugly, gritty, and a dub, right? Wasn't pretty, but it was gritty, and most importantly, it was a dub. 19-13 over the Bears. Bears dropped to 1-1 on the season. Caleb Williams threw his first 2 interceptions of his NFL career. It's a work in progress. It's what it's going to be for all of these young quarterbacks. But the Bears have to do more. He got beat up tonight. He was hit 11 times, sacked 7 times. They're going to have to do a better job of protecting him if he can't protect himself. Run game, quick game, all of that wasn't there tonight. And they left Caleb to fend for himself. And you could tell it was wearing on the other players. I told you DJ Moore looked pissed. He was pissed after a late miss in the game. They're going to have to be better. Meanwhile, the Texans found a way to win, and that's what the name of the game is. Find a way to win, and they got it done. Now they're the only team in their division, not only at 2-0 on the season, they're the only team in their division with a win after 2 weeks. Hey, how about that? Go ahead and create that distance, that separation. That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. Until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your night. You know I will. It's Victory Monday. Celebrate, right? I'm about to go watch the press conferences after the game. I'm about to soak in all of the stuff that I haven't taken in yet. I got a nice adult beverage chilling in the freezer. I'm going to go ahead, pour a little bit up, sip slow, and I'm going to just enjoy. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Big Money Sonny writes, how many times did JD get sacked? Yeah, he's still nice. He got sacked a bunch tonight. Yeah. At one point, it was 5 sacks on Jaden Daniels. But you got to understand the difference between Jaden sacks and Caleb Williams sacks. Caleb was getting hit. Like Jaden sacks come, he's running towards the line of scrimmage, and he just don't quite make it, right? That's what a Jaden Daniels sack looks like. There were times where Jaden is outside the pocket. I'm like, bro, throw it away. And he runs out of bounds for a 2-yard loss. That's a sack. There's a time where Jaden was out of the pocket and he breaks a tackle. And then there's another guy come up, Jaden, throw this shit away. And he gets a sack for 3 yards. And I'm like, bro, you were outside of, just throw it away.
Caleb is in the pocket getting crushed. They look different. Them sacks look different. Them hits look different. Rocky D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rocky D writes, never mind. He wasn't crying, but dude came close. All right, that sound better. All right. You gonna cry, do that shit in the locker room. You can't do that. We grown men now. Like, you can't. This ain't college. Yeah, they hurt your feelings. You want to do well. It ain't working out. They booing you. I get it. That shit hurts. You can't show that kind of emotion on the sideline. Get in the locker room and you could cry your damn heart out. Boo-hoo until your heart is content. Never let them see you sweat like that. Never let them know they getting to you like that. When you told me that and you like, nah, I'm dead ass. I'm like, bro, don't say that to me. Don't tell me the young fella was crying. Don't do that. So I feel better now because I might have went and checked on him before I went and got my victory lap. I might have went to go check on him if that was legit. So yeah, that's good to know. I'm gonna watch the game anyway and see how bad it was. But they already them Panthers fans fed up. They already turned on his ass. It's over. It ain't really too much he could do to get them back in his good graces unless he turned into damn Cam Newton overnight, which we know ain't happening. So it ain't really too much he could do. They done already turned on him. And then you know what makes it 10 times worse? If the only other quarterback in that draft class was Will Levis, he'd be fine. He'd be fine. Problem is, you comparing him to the guy we watched tonight, and that shit just and they had to pick. You know, somebody earlier, said, I'm so glad we had the number 2 pick, so we weren't tempted to take Caleb. It's worse when you had the number 1 pick and you picked the wrong dude. That's like if the Colts would have taken Ryan Leaf instead of Peyton Manning. Like, you got to make sure you don't take the wrong one when you have number 1. If it's 2 of them. You know what I mean? Makes it 10 times worse. Anyway, y'all get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. You know I will. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Damn, it feels good to be a winner for a day. Even if only for a day. Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. God bless. Good night.